Visualizing and creating the life, the business, the health, whatever it is that you want requires a lot of moving parts. But the good news is you're tuning in to this show to get those tips. And I'm excited for you to be here. And we're going to get started now. You are listening on your favorite podcast provider, or perhaps watching this show on your big TV screen. Regardless, I'm excited to have you. My name is Martine Cadet, and I am the host of the Visualize and Create show. You will be able to meet amazing individuals that are going to inspire you, motivate you, and give you the tools for you to visualize and create whatever it is that you want. Make sure you check out the show notes and share this with a friend. Welcome to another episode of the Visualize and Create video podcast. My name is Martine Cadet. I am your host. If this is your first time around here, welcome. I'm excited to have you, whether it's because you found this episode and show through your search or someone potentially told you about it. Regardless, we're excited to have you. And today, I have a very, very dear special guest with me. When I say dear, that is true because Staci and I, the operator, and we'll get to find out what this the operator mean. Staci and I met on the beautiful streets of the online space, and you'll hear me say this often. The internet has a lot of leverage, okay? You can build so much. And Staci has been activating exactly what her brand is about. When I met Staci from day one, we've stayed connected, and now we're going on 2-3 years now since we've been connected. She is an amazing connector, and I'll let her tell you a little bit more about what that is. Enough with me talking. Staci, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It is an honor. It's been a long time coming, and I am so happy to be here.
Amazing. I truly am so blessed that you and I were able to find time from our busy schedule to get together and serve as many people as we possibly can. And so I'd love to start off the conversation, Staci, with you to tell us a little bit about what you do today. And then we want to talk about how you got there, right? How to what you do today, because you and I both know, and I say this all the time, we did not wake up like this yesterday, right? It's a journey, it's a process. And so we definitely want to hear from you. 1 or 2 tips, right, throughout that journey that you've learned that you can serve us with so we know how to move forward in our creation of what we visualize. And we'll wrap up the episode with you obviously sharing with us what you're sharing in the show notes so that we can stay connected with you. And so how do you do what you do today? Why? And what's going on with Staci, the operator?
Hey, yeah, I am the operator. So I am the connector and have been since I was probably about 7 years old. And at the current time, I like to say that I am the visionary that helps small business owners see beyond their limited beliefs. I am the voice for those who don't have one until they have the wisdom to know that they do. And then I am your virtual resource broker, connecting small business owners to the resources and relationships, very important, that help to propagate more revenue, which allows you to relax just a little bit. So that's what I currently do. And that is at the core of my being. That is who I am. Those things I do without question. And I just had to figure out how to get paid for it.
That's interesting. That's a big question. And for you listening and watching, I'm glad you're still here because you have to stay tuned, because I was in the same space as you at some point, Staci, where I enjoyed showing up online. And I was like, this is great. I was going to fashion shows as a fashion blogger and all that good stuff. But I'm like, how do I get paid for that? And so if that's a question you have for you watching and listening, let's hear what Staci has to share as to how she pivoted this whole thing and monetize her skills, right? and her passion. And so, Stacy, what's the secret sauce?
The secret sauce is there's no secret sauce. There's no secret sauce. Everybody comes with their individual ingredients to make, let's say, a drink or a cake. They might put something different on it, which we like to call their USP, unique selling position or proposition, or UVP, unique value proposition. That's that thing. That's that added ingredient that you don't tell everybody about grandma's recipe, because she puts that one thing in it that people normally don't, and that's what sets it apart. So I like to say that, but it's not a secret. Talk about it all the time. And the pandemic really brought out, and for me, who started out, my world was a face-to-face world. It was not a virtual world. All of my background, my jobs were in areas of restaurant, of retail, of hotel, frontline. And that's all face to face, where you can actually see the expression of your customer or client. You can hear in the intonations whether they're upset or whether they're okay with the information you're giving them. When they ask questions, and you have to do, like in retail or restaurant, you've got to do a needs analysis really quick, knowing what it is that you offer, and then listening to what they say they want. So you listen to the want, and then that's what you address first, right? You address their want, and then, because of the rapport that you've built up in these just few seconds or minutes, they allow you the space and the time to educate them on what they actually need. So then you can sell it or fulfill them with that. My pivot was moving from that face-to-face offline space into an online space. And at first thinking that I can operate in the same manner. When it came to graphics, you were one of the first people that I really started working with in promoting things. Now, I had been doing graphics before that, but it was about promotion then. And so, Katarina Boutique became the place that I was like, so how do you make it look like this? And on your Instagram, you're promoting in this way. And why do you do it that way? So I had to figure out, because I had done flyers for offline, and offline, you want as much information on that flyer as possible, because that's the one thing they're taking with them. They may never see you again. So you want them to know the date, what's the event, who's hosting it, if there are any special guests or anybody that's pulling the audience out, where is it located? Is there a telephone number or a website for contact? Like all of the things, you throw it all up on this flyer. And I learned on the online space was too much. First of all, we're using an A4 or a full document size, 8.5 by 11. And then now you're talking about putting it in a square. Yeah, exactly. It was like, okay, how do I get this all on here? And, working with you, it was like, hey, let's pause. Let's talk about this. And so I had to make that change. And if I didn't, I kept saying people are not paying attention. Like all the information was on the flyer, Martine. And you're like, yeah, they're not seeing that. They're not seeing that. You need to have space off from that where the information is, and then you drive them there. But with the graphic, you stop the scroll and then working with some other people. So understanding that online is different than offline was the first big thing that I had to do. Branding concept. I had always worked for another corporation. So the colors are set, the fonts are set, the mission, the values, the emotion, all of those things are set by the corporation. All I have to do is follow in suit. Now in the online space is my own owner, boss, manager, and employee and worker. Now I had to come up with those things. So what are all the elements, not just the fonts and the colors, but what are all the things that have to be considered in the branding? And so working with you as well as with Anisha Lejeune Garrett, then that was, having those probing questions, things that I hadn't thought about before. It becomes important to have a specialist be able to work through those things with you. And then I'm going to say the third thing is, how do you communicate? How do you communicate and where do you communicate? I was trying to be everywhere, everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Clubhouse, LinkedIn, like everywhere at one time. And then I was getting burned out. And so then back to the concept of the content creation and taking one big thing, one big video, one big something, and breaking it down and then repurposing across platforms, and then knowing where your audience or avatar ideal client is so that that is your focus, and then letting the other things fall as they may. And once those things were done, that alignment came, getting clear first on who the avatar was. And then now I'm promoting using clear graphics. And then I am communicating in the captions what I want and need them to know, educating them and entertaining them first, and then asking them to take action after that. So those are the things that I'll say that I had to learn, that I didn't take into consideration when I came into online space. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a Facebook group and grow it to 3,000 like Martine and my daughter did, and just have a place to sell. And I've just got to show up and bring this thing and be like, hey y'all, you want to buy it? But no, it took a whole lot more than that. In the strategists that have played a part in my success and growth are now still growing themselves.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for breaking this up for us. The three steps that you identified were so critical to bring up, because the online space is definitely challenging to show up and maintain and truly make an impact. Now, I do want to bring up, that you mentioned Facebook group, and I want to pick that up again, because I have to say, for my time connecting with you, Staci, one thing that I love about the operator, for you watching and listening, she is consistent in ensuring that you clearly understand, myself included, that despite all this content creation, we just walked through the branding and all of that good stuff, right? Staci the operator ensures that you understand, to be successful, to really make a difference, you have to put forward two things. And I'm gonna let Staci pick up on them once I share what my experience has been with her wonderful brand. Relationship, okay?
Number one.
So critical. And the second thing that I know activates for me, and I know it does for her entire community that she's building online, particularly her exclusive Facebook group community, right, is connection. And in your breakdown of what you just shared, those three things, Staci, you alluded to working with me, my content marketing agency. You alluded working with other amazing business owners that are experts. And I love that, we bring this up because so many people, and I was there too, and you mentioned you were burned out. We think we have to do it all by ourselves. And so I'd love for you to spend some time to share with us, Staci, the importance, right, of not only wanting to get your voice out there, but also connecting, which is what you do, with the right partners, right, to get you moving forward. Share with us, even if you haven't, you don't have to share a name, if you have a story of someone that's, pivoted that way from connecting and building relationships and have been able to move forward. Explain to us how critical it is, because that's what you do for everyone.
It is. And to go back to the question about getting paid before, it's those people that help me put a system in place in order to get paid for connecting other people, because I had no idea how to do it. And I know of no one else that had been working in that particular space. So I had to go to those people that I trusted, I knew and trusted, and in that case, liked, to ask them for their opinion about how to build a structure to be able to get paid for this. Relationships are the key to everything for me, online, offline, professional, and personal. it has gotten me indoors personally and professionally that I would never have been able to get into myself. One, I wouldn't have even known those doors existed. It has put me on stages that I would not have known about the opportunities if somebody had not said, hey, I heard about this, and I think that you're probably a good fit for it. They are crucial to survival sometimes, because as you look at those needs that you end up having in the midnight hour, you need quick responses sometimes. So to have that, I call them my power partners, because these people have been tried and true to supporting me as a person, as an entrepreneur, and then all of the brands that I bring forward as well. That support is there when we talk about, oh, my friends didn't buy this, or, I wish my mama would have, and all of that. Those people aren't supposed to. They aren't supposed to. And if you start out not having that expectation, when they do it, it becomes a gift. But you have to find people that are some of them a little bit ahead of you, so that there's always somebody pulling you through conversation, or somebody that's learning something and looking back and saying, hey, did you know this? Sending you a link in chat, the things that we've done. And then the connections are not even just my connections. It then becomes, who knows me? The good old, it used to be, what do you know? And then it became, well, who do you know? But really and truly, it's about who knows you. And those relationships can cause that to happen. Somebody sharing your post out in social media, somebody saying that they're attending an event, an alert comes up to their tribe that they're attending your event. A name that gets, something that's a need, and that person puts your name out there and says, I don't know if they can do it, but try this person. That connection, and I've watched you over the last year take one experience at one type of event that it was in multiple cities, and then connecting yourself, because you could have stepped back and said, okay, I'm done, I did good, but you allowed yourself to be connected to the next city and the next city and the next city. And that's important, because all of that exposure that you had, each one of those cities needed to see you. You needed to show up, and not just on Instagram or not just on Facebook. They would have never seen you. But that connection was what allowed for thousands and thousands of other people to have access to you and where they can find you if they personally need you or professionally need you. But that is the driver. And for another time of conversation, when it comes to crisis matters on a personal side, it's those professional relationships that have brought me through some times, from homelessness to needing to move on the quick, to not having rent money, to all of that. And whether they were able to personally provide it or provide a resource to me, it was because of the relationship that was already established that gave me an opportunity to not end up being hopeless.
Stop wasting hours trapped behind the keyboard when you could be spending time building relationships, attracting new leads, and nurturing your clients. My content marketing agency, Catterick Media Boutique, specializes in VIP custom video editing and graphic design for coaches, consultants, and service providers just like you who want to show up and stand out online. Visit my website, martinecadet.com/podcast, so you can get started today with your online presence. I look forward to supporting you. You're listening and watching at this point. That means you want Staci to know you, okay? I hope that's what's triggered in your mind right now, because again, if she knows you, the operator, she's gonna know your voice, and your voice is not my voice or Staci's voice, but it's a voice that Staci has a connection that needs to be connected to you. And so I'm so glad that you're still here tuned in, because now Staci's going to tell you how you could share your voice with her and invite you in her space, her wonderful connection space. I'm in it. I love it. I share as much as I possibly can. And so because I hope you picked that up, for you listening and watching, at least I have, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, that connection and relationship is the foundation. And listen, I know we're two business women here, but it's in every areas of your life. You may not be a business owner, but guess what I'm going to share with you? If your vision is to create a better financial life for yourself, I could bet you $1 million Staci has a connection for you. And so do not limit yourself. Do listen up to Staci as she shared with you how she's going to be able to connect with you and how you can connect with her, so that you can share your voice with her and move forward with what it is that you want to create. And so, Staci, tell us, how do we get in touch with you? I have information in the show notes. Talk to us a little bit more on how to work with you.
Absolutely. And if I can just say, Activate Your Vision was where that power partner concept really poured in, and to watch the connections that are happening beyond me and outside of me at this point, that those relationships are still going on. That's what fires up my soul. So if you want to have your voice heard by me and be connected to some other phenomenal people, then you can reach me at www.theoperator.com, and that's replacing the A with an 8. So TheOper, the number 8, TOR.com. And then you can find me on almost any platform, because as I said earlier, I thought I needed to be everywhere. So I made sure that I retained that username. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, LinkedIn, all The Operator. That's that consistency too that you hear about, so that people can find you if they choose to look you up somewhere. So those are the main places that you can find me. And I would love to hear from you in the DMs, and then make sure that you tell me that you saw me on Visualize and Create, so that I give credit to Martine. See, and that's how the connections and relationships work. And we want to give credit to those people that connect us to the resources that we need, so that they know that their purpose and the things that they're doing in life are paying off, even though they don't see them in front of their eyes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And so I mentioned this in my episodes, and if this is your first time hearing, you'll be like, what? Listen, I'm a professor, and you're going to hear me say right now, your homework right now is to check the show notes. Your homework is to send the operator a DM, a follow, a like, connect, right? That's your homework. Now, I can't grade you unless you message me. And so let me know that you did. Let me know that you enjoyed this episode. And with that, I want to again thank you so much, Staci, for coming on. I look forward to having you again on the show. And I look forward to continuing my connection, my relationship with you. As I'm saying this, I have goosebumps, right? If you're watching, you see me going, and if you're not watching and listening, tune in, download the app so you can see our beautiful smiles, so that you are empowered to continue to visualize what you want to create. And so, Staci, again, thank you so much for coming on. And we will definitely be coming back in another episode. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Bye for now. You have just listened or watched the Visualize and Create show. Don't forget to download our app and make sure to leave us a review. And before I go, I do want you to visit my website, martinecadet.com. Browse around. There's a lot of stuff in there. I have a store. I also have great services available for you, so that you can visualize and create anything that you want. I will see you in the next episode.